All right, man, peace. So, brothers, as most of us know by now, one of the biggest storylines in the last few weeks has been the exposure of Mr. Kareem Hunt, the former running back of the Kansas City Chiefs. He was involved in a quote-unquote domestic dispute with a female at a party. For whatever reason, he decided that he was going to assault her. And, of course, it has led to him being cut from the Kansas City Chiefs. But I also think that when they cut him, they cut their chances of winning a championship. There's no doubt in my mind that they've become far more one-dimensional, and it's going to hurt their passing game down the stretch because Kareem Hunt, many people don't understand this, he was one of the top 5 running backs in the NFL for the last 2 years. So can the Kansas City Chiefs still win the Super Bowl even without Kareem Hunt? Of course, they're going to talk about it, and I'm going to chime in.
The Chiefs are without Kareem Hunt for the rest of the season. Obviously, you know this after he was released for shoving and kicking a woman in that infamous video. Kansas City...
It's never just shoving and kicking a person. It's shoving and kicking a woman. Because the woman is of higher value in this society than a man is. Now, we all know that from a bodily perspective, the physical aspect of the woman is diminished in comparison to a man in regards to her strength or what have you. But if we're going to talk about assaulting someone, it's no better to assault a man than it is a woman unprovoked. You understand? If you have to defend yourself, you have to defend yourself. But it's not supposed to be, oh, well, you know, you hit a woman, that's worse than hitting a man if both issues involve a lack of provocation. We should be trying to keep our hands off of anyone. And at the same time, if people attack you, you do have the right to defend yourself. In the case of Kareem Hunt, he was totally out of control. So, unfortunately for the brother, he does not value himself enough or his career enough to make appropriate decisions. That's really what that's about. But you'll always find that the media tries to make this difference between hitting a woman or hitting a man. It's never good to hit anyone unprovoked.
The city has Spencer Ware and Damian Williams as their 2 lead backs. Stephen A., do you think the Chiefs can win a Super Bowl without Kareem Hunt?
I do.
I disagree. I don't see the Chiefs winning the Super Bowl without Kareem Hunt. I mean, you never know. Unless Pat Mahomes just goes on a magic carpet ride and he averages about 380 yards passing per game, I just don't see it.
And the reason why I believe that is I'm assuming Tyreek Hill is going to be healthy. He was limping a little bit. That heel is a problem. We have to monitor that. But if Tyreek Hill is healthy and Travis Kelce is healthy, Sammy Watkins comes back, I'm not worried about the Chiefs. Obviously, losing Kareem Hunt is a big deal. I get that.
And on top of that, the Chiefs' defense is terrible. And one of the ways that you hide a bad defense is through the running game.
That Spencer Ware is an experienced guy that has filled in before. Remember, years ago when Jamal Charles went down, Spencer Ware came in. Spencer Ware comes down, Charkandrick West comes in. Charkandrick West comes down, Spencer Ware comes back into the mix, and then lo and behold, he goes down again, and you find a Kareem Hunt. So this organization has always been able to find somebody to fill that hole at running back. Everywhere else has been a question mark. Even though the defense is still not that great, it's certainly not as awful as it was.
No, it's not that it's not that great. The defense is terrible, Stephen A. Smith.
It was at the beginning of the year. You got the play calling of Anthony.
And look how Kareem Hunt can pass catch out of the backfield, too.
Andy Reid to take into consideration, if Patrick Mahomes is the stud that we swear he is,
well, look, there's no doubt that Patrick Mahomes is a stud. I mean, the man has 43 touchdowns, 11 interceptions in his first season playing.
Those weapons are healthy, because obviously if they're not healthy, he has nobody to throw the ball to. But if the rest of those guys outside of Kareem Hunt are healthy, and the road to the Super Bowl has to come through Arrowhead Stadium, I think
which it might, but it might not. As of right now, they have the same record as the Chargers.
They could pull it off, but even if they were to lose, I certainly don't believe it's going to be to the Chargers.
I don't think they can win the Super Bowl without Kareem Hunt, and I didn't think they were going to win the Super Bowl anyway
I agree.
Because of the defense. But I will say this. I mean, if they did it, Mahomes would have to just lose his mind.
Absolutely.
He is a clearly already excellent player who, if he stays healthy, is going to be a great player. So you can't put anything past him, but I don't think they're going to do it. Here's the thing that made the Chiefs special and made people believe maybe they could do it even without a defense. The quartet. We always talk about the quadruplets, rather. We always talk about triplets. Quarterback, running back, wideout. This team had quadruplets.
I agree with you, sir, because they had the great tight end Travis Kelce. And, of course, they also have Sammy Watkins coming back, as Stephen A. Smith has already stated. Sammy Watkins has been one of the more disappointing receivers of the last 10 years. But they might be able to salvage him.
maybe unlike any other in the history of football. You could pick one or two different examples to compare them to. Mo.
No, there are a lot of examples of great quadruplets, Max Kellerman, but as usual, you're going the hyperbolic route. When we look at the 49ers of the late 80s, they had Joe Montana, Roger Craig, Jerry Rice, Brent Jones. When we look at the Dallas Cowboys of the 90s, they had Troy Aikman, Emmitt Smith, Jay Novacek, Michael Irvin. So, I mean, quadruplets have always been around in the NFL.
Mahomes is the most electric quarterback in the game. Tyreek Hill, you could argue, like I know Odell and obviously Julio Jones and Antonio, but you could argue he's the most explosive big play wideout in the game.
I don't think there's much of an argument against Tyreek Hill being the most explosive wideout in the game. I mean, every week this guy's making 70-yard catches.
Kareem Hunt is as explosive as anyone at the position.
He was.
And Travis Kelce's the best tight end in the game. You have 4 dudes on that level. Okay, so now you go with Andy Reid, who has changed with the times. Now you go, even without the defense, maybe they could do something. You take the running back away, a special running back, and replace him with just a guy. Apologies, Spencer Ware.
No apologies necessary. It's the truth. You're replacing a top 5 NFL running back with just a guy. They're not going to make the Super Bowl.
No, it's not the same. I don't think they can overcome that defense.
Travis Kelce, it is official. He is the best tight end in football.
Yeah.
Well, that's obvious, Stephen A. Smith, because Gronkowski has severely depreciated over the last year or so. Once again, that was another potential genius move that Belichick wanted to make, where he was stopped by Tom Brady.
Make no mistake about it, he's the best tight end in football. So if you have him as a weapon and you have Tyreek Hill as a weapon and Sammy Watkins comes back, I like their chances.
Fifth worst.
Right, but they need to run the football in order to hide their bad defense.
Worst defense, allowing 27 points per game. Kareem Hunt's just a different deal than Spencer Ware. Different type of back.
Well, you know something, but so is Tyreek Hill.
No question.
No question, of course.
No question.
All right.
Stephen A. Smith consistently shows that he should not be talking football at all. Like, his understanding of football is just horrific.
All right, we'll leave it there, guys.
But anyway, that's basically it on that. We'll see what happens with the Kansas City Chiefs. They're a very fun team to watch. But when you take Kareem Hunt out of that backfield, they just become a totally different team. I mean, let's be for real. They should have lost to Baltimore because they did not have Kareem Hunt. They were very fortunate that Pat Mahomes was able to dip into his bag of tricks and pull that game out. And, of course, they lost to the LA Chargers in their last game where they had a 14-point lead. Why is that? Because they didn't have Kareem Hunt to help run the clock out. But anyway, peace.